Hi and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll show you how to set up a Google Ads campaign for pressure washing businesses. So who am I and why should you listen to me? I'm Alex Cho from ZBPPC, and over the past few years, I've helped dozens of pressure washing businesses across the country get results with Google Ads, often bringing in 15 plus extra jobs a month from people actively searching for their services. It can be tough to stand out on Google. So what I have here is I'm searching for pressure washing services near me. Right at the top, we have the local service ads. Then we have the search ads, a couple search ads here. Then we have the map pack with the top local businesses taking up all of the space. Then we have the FAQs. And then finally we get to the organic listings. However, we have a bunch of sites like Yelp and Angie's List and Thumbtack again. And then scrolling to the bottom, we have 3 ads right here. We have another one for Thumbtack. And we have a one for New Jersey Power Wash and Shrink Wrap, and then in a company called Innovation Power Washing, right? So again, it can be difficult to stand out, but one great way to do this is through use of Google Ads. With Google Ads, you can jump right to the top of the search results and get your business noticed. And then within the ads themselves, there's definitely room to stand out versus a competition. So let's take a look at Thumbtack, right? They have a relevant headline here. However, their description mentions hot tub and spa repair, which isn't directly relevant to someone searching for pressure washing services. And then they have a lawn mowing and trimming site link here, which again, may not be it's not directly relevant to someone looking for pressure washing, like with this search. Then Clark's Service Professionals, this headline and description look pretty relevant, as well as the site links, and then they have a promotion here. However, this image, it looks like someone going through a broken ceiling, so I don't think that image is particularly relevant. Then let's take a look at some of the ads on the bottom. We have Thumbtack again. This ad looks very similar to the one on top. Then let's look at this company's ad. So this one has the keyword for power washing service in the headline and description, as well as some site links. However, it looks like I can't exactly tell what's going on in this photo, but it looks like they're shrink wrapping something. So I don't think that this image is particularly relevant for someone looking for pressure washing. They could switch that. And then Innovation Power Washing, this one, it could benefit from use of site links. And then the headline, the one thing that stands out to me, right, is that it mentions Wayne, New Jersey, which is pretty far away from me. So that's not very relevant to what I'm looking for as someone looking from Jersey, searching from Jersey City. I think that's half an hour or 40 minutes. I'm not even sure, but this location isn't relevant. And then this could benefit from site links. Then to take a look at another example, it's not just in one area, the businesses across areas that you search for, they'll have the local service ads, they have search ads, and map pack and more ads on the bottom. So again, it can be difficult to really stand out on Google. Google Ads helps, it gives you an edge, but only if it's done right. And if you'd rather have an expert set this up for you so you can focus on serving your clients, book a free discovery call with me. The link is in the description below. Now let's break down exactly how to set up your campaign. So for this, you're going to sign up and sign into your Google Ads account right here. Then what you're going to do is you're going to click on this plus button and you're going to click campaign. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to select leads, right? We pick leads because we want people who need your pressure washing services getting in contact with you. Then for the conversion goals, right? You'd set these up ahead of time with Google Tags or Google Tag Manager. I personally prefer Google Tag Manager. And so in the previous step, we chose leads, but that's not specific enough. We need to be more specific. We need to determine what kind of leads do we want. So what we want is we want people calling you to book your services and people filling out forms to show that they're interested. And then we have Google Ads track these to see if our campaigns are working. So we add the goals here. I'm not going to do this at this time. And click continue. Next, okay, campaign type. So we will select search campaign, right? So this is the best choice because it shows your ad to people who are already looking for pressure washing services on Google. So if someone types, like I did, pressure washing services near me, your ad can show up right at the top. Other types of campaigns, like we have Performance Max, display, video, they might show to people who aren't looking specifically for pressure washing services. But with search, you're showing up exactly when people need your help, which means more calls and more business for you. All right, next. I'm not going to select any of these options. By not selecting any of these options, we keep the rest of the campaign setup like more flexible, which is what I want to do. But you're welcome to fill these out if you want. But let's click continue. All right, campaign name. So we're going to just go with the previous search results that I showed you for Miami. So we're just going to do pressure washing Miami and then start a new one. All right, for bidding. So for bidding, you can click the drop down, and we're just going to keep with the default of clicks. We want to get a lot of clicks fast to show Google what brings in jobs. And then later on, we may switch to conversions focus to focus on getting more real customers. And then for the max cost per click bid limit, we want to check this, and we want to set this. And the max CPC bid limit, right? This is the most that you're willing to pay per click on your ad. And so we do want to set this initially just to keep our costs under control. And to do this, you do a little bit of research on the keywords, which I'll show you in later steps. And so I did some research beforehand, and I want to put in 19. Again, this is going to depend on the campaign as well as your area. Next, okay. To quickly mention, there is one other option if you do want like more control over your budget, and it's called manual CPC or manual cost per click. And as you can see, that's not one of the options here, right? Because Google's only going to show us the options that best benefit Google. And so in order to select the manual CPC option, you'll need to go in after your campaign is created and then change the bidding strategy. And I'll show you how to do this after we publish our campaign. All right, so now customer acquisition, don't select that. Okay. For networks, we want to deselect both of these networks, both the Google Search Partners Network and the Google Display Network, right? These are just lower quality networks. And I don't think generally they're not going to be able to bring in more jobs than, say, Google Search itself. Then for locations, we want to select a location for our campaign, right? So we're doing a Miami campaign. So we're going to click enter another location. And then I'll show you two good ways to do this. First, we're going to click on advanced search, and you can set your location by specific location or by radius. So to show you, Miami, Florida, include, there we go. This is the area covered by the campaign. And then I'll show you the radius-based approach. Let's do like 10 miles, right? And as you can see, this is a 10-mile radius around Miami. So let's just, for the purposes of this example, let's just go with this. You want to choose your service area and where you're willing to go for customers. So click save. All right. This step is super important. You do not want to skip this. So location options. You want to click on this, and then we're going to select presence, people in or regularly in your included locations. So we want people in or regularly in the 10-mile radius around Miami, Florida. And we do not want to select presence or interest, right? Because presence or interest, that could also include people who, according to Google, have shown interest in this particular area through their behavior on Google and what they've been looking for, right? So that could mean your ads show up to people like in Miami, Florida, right? If we were to select this, it can mean your ads show to people in, let's say, Atlanta, Georgia. Your ads could show to people in New Jersey, like me. You can show to people in Canada. You can show people in Spain, India, etc. You get the idea, right? And so we don't want ads showing to those people. It's just a waste of money, right? Because you're not going to be able to give them pressure washing services. So we're just going to select presence, right? Just keep it to people who are actually in or regularly in this area, people we can actually service. So then we go to languages. So for languages, I'm going to stick with English. If you want to say, like, create a campaign to target Spanish-speaking customers, for example, then you would set up an entirely different campaign, and you would have everything set up in Spanish. But, we're just going to go with English for this example. All right, so audience segments. Segments, these are groups that Google creates, like homeowners or job seekers, based on their online searches and information. And we pick these to show your ad to people who want your help. So let's select a few. I'll give you a couple examples of relevant or related segments. We can do homeowners, and then let's do a couple home and garden services. And it's very important if you're going to select audience segments. For the targeting setting, you're going to want to select observation recommended. If you select targeting, it will narrow the reach of your campaign or who your ads are shown just to these segments or just to the segments that you choose, right? And so that population, the number of people is way too small to make an effective campaign. You're not going to get many jobs or leads, etc. We need to keep it wide open. So we select observation. All right, click more settings, ad rotation. I'll quickly go over this. So we have, let me take some water. Optimize and do not optimize. Generally, I would just go with the default of optimize and let Google choose the best performing ads. If you want to do tests, right, and try out like ad 1 versus ad 2 and compare their performance, then I would choose, in that case, I would choose do not optimize, rotate ads indefinitely. But generally speaking, I would just go with the default optimize. And then we have ad schedule right here. So ad schedule, this is when your ads will be shown, right? And so what I would suggest in this case is to, set this when you're willing to pick up phone calls, respond to customers who are filling out forms from your ads. So I would suggest a little bit before your standard work hours and then a little bit afterwards, for people who may be looking for pressure washing early in the morning or like after they get home from work. So let's just do 7 to, let's say, like 8. And then we can set a shorter weekend schedule. Let's do like 9 to 3. Again, align this with, when you're willing to respond to customers. All right. Next. Okay, you can have Google AI help you out and generate your ads. I've tried this out a few times and it's okay, but I wouldn't suggest doing it. It's just not quite there yet. I don't think it's as good as just doing it yourself. So click skip. All right. We were going to close this box. Okay, now we're going to create our ad groups. So ad groups, right? Ad groups should focus on one idea, like for example, pressure washing services, with the search keywords that people use in Google, a matching ad, and a website that fits. So for you want to set up separate ad groups for different types of pressure washing services. For example, you could have just a general pressure washing ad group, and then you could have one for like driveway cleaning, one for deck cleaning, one for commercial pressure washing, etc. So we're going to enter some keywords. And now we're going to choose some keywords. And in order to help us do this, we need to one way to do this is to go to Google's Keyword Planner tool. This is within your Google Ads account. And the way you get there, right, is go to Tools, and then you click on, under Planning, you click on Keyword Planner, and then you click Discover New Keywords. Okay. And then we're going to set our specific location here to Miami, Florida, click Save. All right. And now we're going to give the Keyword Planner like a couple ideas based on what we think people are looking for in Google. So let's give it some ideas. Pressure washing near me. Get results. All right. So as you can see, it gives us, we have the 2 that we typed in here, and then it gives us a whole bunch of ideas. In order to make it like pretty easy to analyze, I personally like to open this up in Google Sheets rather than like looking at this data and then like copying and pasting things here. The way you do this, you go to this download button, click, go to Google Sheets, click download, and it's preparing the report as you can see here. Okay, click open sheet. All right, so we have our spreadsheet full of our information. I'm going to expand this and then, okay. So a couple key columns here, right? We have the keyword, the keyword column, which are the keywords, obviously. Then we have column C, which is the average monthly searches. Then we have column H and I. You have the bid range here to show the low and high bid to show on top of the search results, right? And we'll use this information to set the maximum CPC that I set in the earlier step. And for pressure washing, I'd suggest like a good starting point for the max CPC is to be towards like the high end of this top range. the maximum near of this range. All right, so let's go ahead and select our keywords. It's important to select keywords that show people looking specifically for pressure washing companies and their services. Right, so pressure washing, I think pressure washing is, I'm just going to go with the highest intent searches here. I think pressure washing is a little bit lower intent because it may include people who are looking for pressure washing information. So I'm just going to go with the ones that I think have the highest intent. So pressure washing near me, right? Power washing near me. Let me highlight these. Then we have, I don't want to select either of these. These are more that people are looking for like equipment. Then house washing near me, I actually don't want to select that. Also, I'd want to create a separate house washing ad group. Let's see what other ones. Pressure washing services and power washing services. All right, let's just go with these to make it quick. And then as you can see, right, the reason that I chose like $19 in the previous step, right, is because we have the low range and the high range is like 1928 here. And then the low range is like 350 here and then 1830. And so 19 is towards the end of this like high range. All right, next what I want to do is I want to copy these and go back here and paste them here. But before I do that, right, I want to quickly go over keyword match types. Right, so there are 3 different types of match types on Google. They control which searches can trigger your ads. We have broad match here without any formatting. You have phrase match with quotes, double quotes as the formatting, and then you have exact match with the brackets as the formatting. So let's go over to Google's official documentation. All right, so we have broad match, and so this is means your ad will show for searches related to your keyword, even if the words aren't exact or even in some cases similar. I wouldn't suggest using broad match if you're just starting out. For example, as an example, let's say your keyword is pressure washing, right? And then your ad can show up when someone looks for electric pressure washer, which isn't that's not the same thing. It's not related, and you can end up wasting a bunch of money by using broad match initially. So I would steer clear of broad match. And then phrase match is your ad will show when someone's search includes the meaning of a keyword. So let's say you have a keyword of pressure washing companies, and it could trigger someone looking for cheap pressure washing companies near me. And then exact match is when your ad will only show when someone searches your exact keyword or a very close variation. So, pressure washing services near me, as your keyword, it'll only show for like very similar searches. And, for this starting out, I would just suggest using both phrase match and exact match. They're safer to start with, so your ad only shows to people who are actually looking for your service. All right. And so now we need to take our keywords that we chose in the spreadsheet, and then we need to apply the double quotes for phrase match and the brackets for exact match, that formatting. So in order to help us do that, we will go here and select our keywords. Then we will copy them. Then we will go to this site right here, keywordwrap.com. There are other similar sites that do the same thing, but this is just one of them. Going to copy and paste into enter keywords. Then we will click wrap keywords. Then we will look for phrase and exact match right here. Select a copy, Control C to copy. Now we can finally go back to Google Ads and then we can paste them in here. All right. So I'll also briefly mention that we also want to add in negative keywords for this campaign. Negative keywords are words like, say, free power washing that you add to stop your ad from showing up for searches that you don't want. So you can't do this right now, but I'll show you how to do it afterwards after we publish our campaign. All right, so next we're going to create our ad. And this right here is final URL. So the final URL, this is where you put the web page that people will go to after clicking on your ad. This should be directly related to the keywords we chose right here and directly related to what people are looking for. In this example, this should be a web page specifically talking about pressure washing services and specifically designed to get people easily calling or filling out forms. Designed for high conversion. So I need to put something here, so let me just put in my own website, right? And next is the display path. So our display path, right, it's short text, like say pressure washing services, right, that shows after your website name here to tell people what they'll find. The final URL, right, this is the actual web page that they land on when clicking on the ad, but this is just the text that shows. So let's put in some relevant text here. Let's just do pressure wash. All right, and as you can see, pressure wash shows up here. However, the actual site that they will go to after clicking on your ad will be this site right here. All right, so headlines. Okay, headlines. These are the big bold words that appear on the top of your ad right here that, show people what your services are. And then a few different headlines themes that I like, right? They're keyword headlines, location headlines, feature service headlines, social proof headlines, and call to action headlines. I'll give you some examples right now. And for these, you want to fill out as many slots as possible. Give Google as many different options to work with to see what works. All right, so we can do something like Miami pressure washing here. Then we can have same day quotes. We can have, let's see, another one, 5-star rated pressure washing and contact us day, things like that. Again, you want to fill out as many of these as possible to give Google as much to work with as possible. Next, descriptions, right? So the descriptions, right? This is a text underneath the headlines, and this gives you a chance to, talk about your services and convince people to click on your ad. So descriptions, we want to fill out as many of these as possible. Let's type in pressure washing services, safe for homes, driveways, decks, say, then just pressure homes, businesses, pricing fast service, book now. All right. And, it's important to remember with both of these, you want to write headlines and descriptions, that can really differentiate your company from the competition. Okay. Then images. Images can be very helpful here. Some types of images that I like include, let's say, before and after images. I like those completed project images. You can also have photos of your team at work, and you can add them here. And then be sure to do the advertiser verification in order for you to fill out your business name and your business logo on the ads, just shows at the top. And then that just makes it look more professional. And then we have the site links. So let me quickly go over these. So site links, these are the links at the bottom of the ad that go to different pages on your website. We want to, again, relevancy or relatedness is key here. So we want these to be related to what people who are searching for. We want to make these relevant to what they're searching for. Sorry. So we could do, let's say you have a before and after page on your website, type in descriptions here, and then final URL. And the site link 2, let's go with customer testimonials. And you can link to a page with customer testimonials on your site. Then link 3, you can do something like service area. And then you can fill in a short description and, the site, the page on your site that contains your service area. So you get the idea. All right, I'm not going to create any of those now. And then more asset types. If you're having promotions, you can definitely add those. And then you definitely want to add your phone number to make it very easy for people to get in contact with you, to call you directly from your ads. Then call outs. So for call outs, let me show you really quickly. So these are the bits of text that appear at the end of the description. It gives you, a chance to highlight your key features, benefits, and then it can definitely help with getting people to click on the ads. So I'll just select this, and you can see free quote appears at the end. Not going to apply this. This is just a demonstration, but those were those main assets that I would add. Then click next. All right. So now we're on to the budget section. The numbers keep changing. Okay. So for the budget, right? You want to take time to think about how much money you're willing to allocate to Google Ads. I wouldn't go right off, just right with the recommendation by Google, right? The more you spend on Google Ads, the more money that Google gets. So they're going to like recommend you like a high amount most of the time. You should really take time to think through how much you're willing to allocate to Google Ads. In this case, let's see. I would set it at like minimum to, again, it's going to depend on the area, but for this one, I would set it, somewhere around like $50 to $75, at least to start out, and then click next. Okay, now our campaign is ready to publish, right? And so we want to check all of our settings, and then we will click publish campaign, right? One thing I'll note is that when launching a new campaign, it takes a few weeks for Google to complete the learning phase as it gathers data and tests out different combinations to improve your campaign performance. Right, during this period, the results, they may fluctuate, they may go up and down, so it's important to stay patient and avoid major changes while Google learns. So now that I've gone over that, we will click Publish Campaign. All right, waiting for it to load. All right, now our campaign is published. Next, I'll show you how to set manual CPC as a bidding strategy and also set negative keywords, right? So let's go to Campaigns dropdown, click on Campaigns. What I'm going to do so I don't spend money inadvertently, I'm going to select this dot and I'm going to click Pause. All right, and then you can go to this gear icon right here, click on that, and then go down to Bidding. See, we have maximize clicks and the $19 that we set. And then we're going to change our bid strategy. Go down here, select a bid strategy directly, click on this. Then we're going to go to the drop down and click on this, and then select manual CPC and click save. All right, so now I clicked on ad groups and I'll show you. Let me refresh the page. Okay, so now we have this default max CPC or default max cost per click column, and you can click on the pencil icon and you can set the maximum that you're willing to pay for a click by ad group. And you can also set it by keyword too. I'll show you. So we're going to click on audiences, keywords, and content. We're going to click on keywords. And again, make sure the specific campaign remains selected from the drop down right here. And then you see max CPC right here. And similar to the ad group example, you can click edit and you can set the max that you're willing to pay per click for each keyword here. And again, this gives you more control over your budget. So now I'll show you how to set up negative keywords. We're going to stay within this same view right here, and then keywords, and you can see on the top here we have negative keywords on this tab. So we'll click this. All right, click the plus button, add negative keywords and create a new list. And see, we have this drop-down list right here, and we can select negative keywords that will apply to like the entire campaign, or we can set negative keywords specifically at the ad group level. So specifically apply to ad group 1, but not to the rest of the ad groups in the campaign. For this example, I will just set it by campaign. All right, so as mentioned, you definitely want to set negative keywords for this type of campaign, right? There's all sorts of junk that'll come up, and you don't want your ads showing for searches that are just like not related to people looking for pressure washing services. So some examples include, people who are looking for pressure washing equipment. So people who are looking for pressure washers. And then you also don't want to show up when people search for your competitors. You don't want to show up when people also are, looking for pressure washing jobs or, do it yourself type information, right? So the one that I am going to select, electric pressure washer, right? So I put it in the brackets, right? Because the exact match brackets, because I want to stop the ads from showing for this specific search, right? So when someone goes into Google and they're typing in electric pressure washer and clicking enter, our ad is not going to show up, right? Because this is someone who's looking to buy some equipment or information on the equipment or to rent the equipment, etc. And then another one that we can do, I'll show you Karcher, which is a equipment brand name. And so I put this in double quotes for phrase match, right? So it will ensure that our ads won't show for any search that contains the word Karcher, right? So this is a little bit different from this, where we're like blocking this specific phrase. We're going to be blocking all searches that contain the word Karcher here. And then you also have, let's say, let me see a competitor. PPW Power Wash, right? And so our ads won't show when someone searches specifically for PPW Power Wash, right? Then we click save, right? And then let me just click save, right? And then that's pretty much it. So, I want to thank you for watching until the end. If you're serious about getting more clients with Google Ads and you want an expert to handle everything for you, now let's make it happen. Click the link below to book a free discovery call, and I'll show you exactly how we can grow your business with a high converting ad strategy. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I drop new Google Ads tutorials and strategies every week to help you get more leads and grow your business, so don't miss out.